Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here with the next update for Deco Panning. As you know, this is a project that was created by Emilynmax. She made this project quite a few years ago now and it is a roaring success in the panning community. So the gist of the project is basically that she has created a game board which was inspired by Books with Maddie, I believe. She used it for TBR, but Emily kind of took it into the panning world and made a game board with different prompts. So you randomize your prompts using a deck of cards, and then whichever card you pull corresponds to a prompt, which will then in turn correspond to a product. So that is how it works. You work on 5 products at any point in time unless you roll an extra prompt in or extra product in, but if that happens, I will let you know when that happens. And then yeah, as soon as you roll something out, you roll something new in. You can put any goal you want. You can put finish goal, usage goal, anything you want. And that's, I guess, the main rules. I will have Emily linked down below if you want to check out her introduction, but I am assuming most of you guys aren't new to this project, so I'm not going to ramble on about it anymore. But before I jump into my products that I've been working on in this project, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. Let's jump into the video. So I'm going to start off with the first product. I mean, all of these products apart from the last one has been in since the start, which is 2 months now, but I'm going to start with the oldest product, moving down the list. So the first thing I have on my list is this product right here, which is the Professional Primer from Benefit. This is just like a mini size. It has 7.5 mils in it. I rolled this one in for the prompt, a primer, which is and I want to finish this. It's actually on my list of products that I want to pan in 2025. So I thought, why not roll it in and try to finish it in this project. It would be fun to have a finish goal, and also it can just give me a head start on this product itself. So the first month this was in the project, I reached for it 13 times. It's not something that I reach for every single day. It depends on how long I'm going to wear my makeup for. Depends if I want to go for more of a glowy primer. Like right now, for example, my skin is very dry because I have a cold. I mentioned it in a couple other videos, but still recovering from that cold. And my skin is very, very dry. So this one isn't like the best right now for me. So it depends a little bit on when I want to reach for it. But like I said, the first month I reached for this one 13 times, and in the past month I reached for it 15 additional times, and you can see the progress lines right there. So the first month I must have mismarked it because it was sitting kind of like at the introduction mark last update, but it has definitely moved now, so that is where it's sitting. There's still a decent amount of product left in here, but I'm also foreseeing myself to use this more as we're getting into the warmer weather, just because I feel like, as hopefully at least we're going to get some warm weather soon, my skin is not going to be as dry and I can reach this one a little bit more as like a mattifying pore filling primer. But I'm happy with the progress so far. I have no idea how long this is going to stay in the project for, maybe 2-3 more months, but for now it is sticking around and I'm really enjoying it. The next product that I have is one that I rolled in for Sparkly, I believe, and I decided to go with a shade from Shine by SD. It is an eyeshadow. It is the shade Mystic, which is a beautiful single shadow. It has a lot of sparkles in it. It's one of the most sparkly shadows that I have. It's from the Halo Horizon collection, although they have reformulated that collection and it's not the same anymore, but this specific shade is very sparkly. It's almost like a pressed glitter, but it's not. It is an eyeshadow, and it's just very pretty, so that's why I rolled it in for Sparkly. My goal with this shadow is to reach for it 10 times. In the first month it was in the project, I reached for it once, and again this past month I reached for it once. I'm now sitting at 2 uses. It is that shade right there. This blue is in my panel's eyeshadows. If you didn't see my update like my video going up a couple of days ago, that is that shade, but I haven't used it since, so it's fine. But this here is that shadow. You can see there's a little bit of use, but not too much. Only 2 uses in this project, and I'm definitely going to try to reach for this one more. I think I'm going to try to have this one out next month, which would mean reaching for it 8 additional times. My focus have just been elsewhere in the past month, so that's why I don't have too much use, but I'm still happy that I'm getting at least 1 use per month, but I am 100% going to step that up next month because I can't have this one in for 10 months just using it once every month. The third product that I have in this project is another eyeshadow type of product, but this is a whole palette, and it's this one right here, which comes from Odin's Eye. This is the Snow Dreams palette, or Snow Dream palette, which is one of their Christmas releases. It was from 2023. I can't believe it's been that long since this was released, but that's how old it is. And I rolled this one in with the goal to reach like level 1 on this palette, and if you're unfamiliar with that, it is a product that was created by me. Well, Product Level Up was a product created by me, and the goal is to reach for your whole palette and hit pans depending on the level you're on. So for level 1, you reach for every single shade once and then hit 1 pan. For level 2, 2 pans and 2 uses per shadow. But again, for level 1, I wanted to reach for every single shade in here at least once and hit 1 pan. So that is my goal for this palette. I will have been rolling the footage of what this one has been looking like, and this is what it looks like now. So hopefully you can see that I have hit a pan in the shadow. It is in the shade Hugs, so that goal is ticked. I'm very, very happy with that, and I'm also going to talk you through the usage for this palette. So yeah, again, Hugs is the pan. You can see it right there glimmering. It's a super beautiful shadow. I really enjoyed reaching for that one. I'm going to go through the usage for this palette because again, it's been in for 2 months. So some of the shades I reached for last month and some of them I reached for this month. But I'm going to go through them. So Boots, I already had one use on. Celebrate, I've used once. I'm actually wearing this one in my look today. I'm wearing the last shadows from this palette today. So majority of this look is from this palette. Feast, I had also used in the first update. Hugs, of course, was my focus shade, which I hadn't used at all in the first month, but I reached for it 9 times this past month to hit pan on it. So that is where it is sitting. I did have some prior use on this one from last year too, but 9 uses in this project. Then we have Frankincense, which I'm also wearing in my look today. That is what I have on my inner lid, like the kind of grayish shimmer there. We have next to it Goodwill, which I also used this month once. Mary, I had already used. Then we have the shade Ornament and Snowflake, which I also have in this look today. So I wore them today for the one time. The shade Sweater here I had already used once last month. And then Guests and Tradition I also have in my look today. We have the red matte on the outer corner and then that kind of red shimmer we have on my lower lash line. So that is also in my look today. The shade Magic I have also reached for this month, not in this look, but I have reached for this month. We have Gurjul, which I had already reached for last month. Tints I also reached for the first month, and then lastly Garland I have reached for this past month. Again, not in this look, but I have reached for this past month. And that means that I have reached for every single shade in here with this look today. That's why I did it. I wanted to incorporate every single shade that I hadn't reached for yet, and I think it turned out pretty nice, this look. Not my favorite look, but I think it turned out nice. So that means that I have now reached my goal on this palette. I have reached for every single shade once and I have hit 1 pan, which means that this palette and this prompt is rolling out of the project, and I will roll something else in at the end. And then next up we have another shadow. This is the last eyeshadow in this project though, but I did roll a lot of eyeshadows in, which I feel like is my favorite product to work on, but it does make it quite hard to rotate through them. However, this has been a high focus for me in the past month, and that is the shade Opulent. And I believe I rolled this one in for Favorite Brand. I'm pretty sure, and this comes from Cleona. So this is a beautiful single shadow. It is this one right here, so you can see it is just like a neutral shade. It has a lot of different shifts to it. It is mega sparkly. Similar to Mystic, I rolled this one in with a goal of using it 10 times, and in the first month it was in the project I reached for 3 times, so I already had a little bit more use on it, and I'm happy to say that in the past month I reached for it 7 additional times, so this one would also roll out the project. So I'm happy again with the uses I have on this one. It's been a really nice topper shade. I'll be just kind of topping it on top of neutral looks every day, not every day, but when I go to the office and things like that, because it does give a really nice sparkle to the eye, and a little bit of like shiftiness without being too intense. So yeah, really been enjoying that shade, and it is now leaving this project, which means that we have a second prompt and product rolling in. So the last product that we have in this product, again rolled in last month, and that is actually a lipstick. I rolled this one in for, let me try to remember, I think Mainstream. And I decided to go with a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. I think that's what I rolled it in for. And this here is the shade Pillow Talk Medium, which is a beautiful, deeper type of nude shade. It's a really, really beautiful one. I actually have a duplicate of this one because I already had it in my collection, but then my boyfriend picked it up again. So I do have a backup of this, which is why I want to pan this one. I do ideally want to finish this one this year. However, for this specific project, I rolled it in with a usage goal of 30. So that is kind of my starting point. I did go ahead and mark it on my piece of paper so you can see what it looks like. So that is how much I had left of it, and I have used this one 8 times in the last month. I'm actually wearing this one today, but I have mixed it with another lipstick. And honestly, that's how I've been using this one a lot, because it is more of a neutral shade and it's also deeper. So it's been really nice to mix with lipsticks in my Point Apocalypse that I feel like are too bright or too light. So I've been using it a lot as a mixer. And I think majority of those 8 uses I think is for mixing. Maybe once or twice I did use it on its own. But yeah, unfortunately there's not really any movement on the paper. I did try to mark it just now, but it maybe moved like a millimeter, but I couldn't really mark it because then I would just blur like the lines together. So I'm not going to go ahead and mark it right now. I'm just going to keep using this one. But 8 uses in and 22 to go. I don't know if it's going to be out next month. Maybe if I step it up. I think you can definitely do 22 uses in a month if I wanted to, but I also don't really want to rush it, so we'll see. It's either going to be out next month or the month after for sure, but it is for now staying in the project. So since we have 2 cards running out, I have my deck of cards right here. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle it a little bit just in my hands, trying to get the deck shuffled before I pick a card. So I have shuffled it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it, and we're going to pick 2 cards. I have the laptop in front of me with the prompts, so let's see what I get. First up is a face card. This is a red king, and that means no pen left behind. So I need to pick something for that. I need to figure out what I want to go for, but that is the first one. And then the second card is going to be 2 of clubs. And 2 of clubs is pattern. Okay, I think pattern is something like a pattern, like imprinted product. Let me have a look quickly what pattern would be. It's a product with a pattern embossed in it. Yeah, exactly. So those are my 2 prompts. I need to go ahead and think. I think for no pen left behind, I'll probably go for an eyeshadow palette. And then for pattern, I need to think what I have with a pattern in it. But let me go ahead and pick my products out, and then I will be right back. So I'm back, and I picked up products relatively quickly. Yeah, I felt like originally I wasn't sure what I was going to go with, but I straight away had a thought for both of them. So first up is the first thing that I knew I was going to go for, because I wanted to go for eyeshadow palette for no pen left behind. And this is a palette that I've been craving for 2 reasons. First of all, I think it's a perfect spring palette, and we are entering spring. Second of all, I have been really tempted by the new Pat McGrath palette that is releasing, the Petalmorphosis. So I wanted to pull up one of my Pat McGrath palettes, and that's what I'm going to do for no pen left behind. This here is the first Mothership palette that I ever received, or Pat McGrath palette that I ever received. I got this from my boyfriend for my birthday. And this here is the Utopian Dream. I think this is such a beautiful palette for spring. I just think it's perfect. So I want to reach for this one, no pen left behind. It's going to be quite easy. It's only 10 shades, but nevertheless, I think it's a beautiful palette, and I might try to reach for every shade more than once, but definitely at least once. And I just want to pull this palette out and have it in my drawers. So that is going to be the first product. Hopefully I can have that out next month already, considering again it's only 10 shades. And then for pattern, I originally thought if I was going to roll in like one of my single shadows and try to like get away the pattern, like the imprinted or embossed like pattern in it, but I felt like that would be first of all quite easy if I just like rub my finger across it. Or, you know, I feel like also I work on eyeshadows all the time in this project. So I opened up my cheek drawers and straight away saw this product, and I thought that would be perfect because it's a blush that I don't reach for very often, but I do really love. And that is this one right here, which is from Nabla. This is one of their skin glazing blushes, which I was obsessed with. I really love this shade, and I wanted to pick up more shades, but I never got around to. Maybe at some point I will. I used to have too many blushes in my collection. But this shade that I have in my collection is the shade Independence, and it's a beautiful kind of like neutral mauve type of blush. It's also like a bit glowy. You can see it there on my finger. It is such a beautiful blush. I don't know, it's like now it looks warm to me, but I also think it looks a bit more mauve, but it's just a beautiful neutral shade. And I think this one is going to be perfect because I'm panning a very pink coral type of blush in my yellow bright pan, and I reach for that one all the time, but I want some variety, and I think this one is going to be a great one. But I'm not going to roll this one in to like take away the embossing. That would take way too long. So I'm just going to roll this one in for I think 15 uses, not to overwhelm myself and not to take away from the blush that I'm panning in my yellow bright pan too much. So 15 uses on this blush, and again I don't think definitely that's going to be doable. Maybe not in 1 month, but hopefully at least in 2. So that, you guys, is going to be it for my deck of panning update. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and make sure to check out Emily as well as everyone else who's doing this project, link down below as always. Yeah, it's a super fun one. I mean, I'm sure most of you guys already know this project, but it's just a really fun one to follow along and watch, and I also personally really enjoy it. So I hope you guys are having a lovely day wherever you are, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye guys.